Greetings, Orange Army. A very warm welcome to yet another episode of In Conversation. Kamalam Zethembe ingqungqule shamaphiwo phezu intaba khalamadoda bese khalabafaz. Uyamangala ukuthi ngase ngikhuphwa kangaka nje noshuni wesiZulu, but it's because our guest today is somebody who is a fan of the language just like I am. She is the very first ever isiZulu Masters graduate in Politics and International Relations. Ladies and gentlemen, please do help me welcome Philisiwe Mpondo. Philisiwe, greetings to you. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you.
We're very happy to have you. As I did say that, it seems as though if you are doing a Masters in isiZulu, you are a fan of this language, isiZulu. Where is home? Take us back to home.
Home is Soweto in Midlands.
Yeah.
In Zone 4.
Yeah, yilapho ukhulele khona.
Ngizalelwe khona, ngakhulela khona. I've been there my entire life.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I know Soweto to be a multilingual place. There's a lot of languages akhona Soweto. So where you're from, is isiZulu more, I would say, concentrated maybe?
Not really. It's a combination of languages in a multilingual area, because it's actually, we have Sutus, Xhosas, and everyone in Soweto, especially where I come from in Midlands. It's in Zone 4, especially we have Xitsonga, Venda, everyone is just there.
So what do you think draws you to isiZulu? What do you think it is about isiZulu that makes you say, you my girl?
It's actually from high school, primary school actually.
Okay.
And it elevated when I got to high school. La ngaqala khona ngabona ukuthi actually ngiyayithanda the language, and that's when I developed love for ukufunda, understand, and the basics, izaka, izisho, and all those things. That's when I started having uthando for isiZulu.
And now that little girl has become the first ever isiZulu Masters graduate in Politics and International Relations. Did you know you were the first to do this?
Yes, I did. It actually started in honors, because I did my honors in isiZulu as well, and then graduated to Masters because I just couldn't let go of writing in isiZulu.
And now being the first in this one, how does it feel? It's quite a huge feat. How does it feel to be the first person to ever do such a thing, especially in a big institution such as the University of Johannesburg? You expect most of the times that somebody probably has done this before. So being the first of something so huge at such a huge institution should be a huge feat. How does it make you feel?
It's actually an incredible honor for this historic moment. So it's a very big thing, and actually I didn't think of it as this big thing. It was just me trying my luck, like, okay, let me actually, because I was good at high school, let me just try and see how far it goes. I didn't expect it to grow until
Sure. And what do you think inspired you to go into, because you could have done your Masters in Politics and International Relations in any other language. What about isiZulu made you say, I want it specifically to be in isiZulu?
Because isiZulu is a language engikhule ngifunda, although originally ngumXhosa, ngimpondo kahle. But isiZulu ngikhule ngisifunda esikoleni, and because I did my studies mostly in English, so now I wanted this change of what's okay. Since we are able to express academia in English, how can we move it to relate nayo? And so I chose isiZulu because I felt closer to isiZulu than I am to any other indigenous language in South Africa.
I love that. I mean, it does truly reflect our rainbow nation-ness, you know what I mean? But then one wonders, Uguti, when you have your thesis in isiZulu, research, how does that come about? What are some of the challenges you face when you do your research? Because I'm sure a lot of your sources probably were in English, because we're talking politics here, we're talking international relations. And when we go international, isiZulu becomes less now, because the universal language is English. It's Ngesi, right? So when that is the thing, one may assume that a lot of sources you use for your research were in English. So what were some of the challenges around that, doing research in English, but then your thesis eventually becomes in isiZulu?
So one of the biggest challenges that I faced was key concept in politics or key theories in politics can't be directly translated to isiZulu.
Sure.
Because if you directly translate them, you lose the meaning. So I had to find a way to retain the meaning, but ngiyise kusiZulu again.
Sure.
So it was difficult to find that, and with the help of my mentors, it was doable.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And I mean, I can see that the University of Johannesburg is really, year in, year out, advocating for the integration of indigenous languages at higher institutions of education. Why do you think it's so important, ukuthi isiZulu is not a thing that I last do when I'm doing my matric, but actually I can even go into isiZulu even when I get to tertiary? Why is it so important in your opinion?
It's important because it makes it feel ukuthi academia is not excluded from our everyday life.
Yeah.
Because now everything is done in English. Umufika varsity now, you are from a Zulu or any other language-centric area.
Sure.
Now you find struggles to adjust. So you feel like academia is not for me because so when you bring isiZulu or any other language into academia, now people feel welcome and
Sure.
they are able to integrate and understand academia on a more personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe if you can just let us in on what exactly your research was entailing. As we were chatting before we started shooting, you did let me know that there's coursework when you get into your master's and there's research. You choose between the two and you went for research. What exactly?
My research topic was government surveillance and political freedom. So I was balancing national security and the rights of individuals. So yeah, that's what I was doing, and finding a balance between ensuring ukuthi the country is protected and also protecting amalungelo abantu while protecting izwe lonke futhi.
Yeah. I love that. And also, I mean, we can see that security is becoming more and more important for the nation as we get into these little squabbles with some of our friends internationally. So I think that was incredible work. And what are some of the findings, whereas you were doing your research, putting together your thesis, that are quite interesting? Some of the findings that are interesting that you found yourself stumbling upon?
Uguti, we can actually, because most literature is on which we cannot actually find a balance. There's actually like not a way of balancing this.
Okay.
But there is a way of balancing amalungelo abantu with balancing national security as well.
Yeah.
So there is a way of balancing both, and yeah, there is a space for everyone in everything.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Absolutely love that. One also looks at your work, and if you're going to do your thesis in isiZulu, it may be seen as a way of decolonizing imfundo ephakeme, tertiary education, right? Which I think is great, and I think it is something that should become a norm. What are some of the changes do you think should take place in order for other students coming after you as well to be able to comfortably do their research, their masters, their postgrad studies really in general in their indigenous languages? What changes should we see to make that happen?
There's actually a project that we are currently working on with Prof. Bason Zenze.
Yeah.
And on multilingualism, it was funded by UCDP. So it's a multilingualism in political science. There's a group of us, we are about 20, and we have Prof. Makosa Zanaklaba as well as an expert. So we translate our study guides from the politics department from first year until honors. So we translate those from English to indigenous languages. So we have isiZulu, we have isiXhosa, we have Tsonga, we have isiNdebele, we have Sesotho as well. So I think other departments or other universities can actually implement that as well and allow our students to access education in a language that they are comfortable in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. And you speak of your experience doing this research as one that was, of course, not easy, but then you did receive the help that you needed from your supervisors here at the University of Johannesburg. And I think this should be a universal thing. All universities should be able to better support students who wish to pursue studies in their indigenous languages. What do you think can be implemented in those institutions? How can universities better support students who want to pursue their tertiary education in indigenous languages?
I think they can actually have courses on African languages as well. Also have because we have 11 official languages in South Africa, so we can't prioritize one over over the others. So they can actually integrate and have like multilingual classes where if you're studying politics should be taught in any language so that everyone is comfortable and understands what's kwenzakalani. So if we only focus on English only, some people fall out, and that's why some people even drop out at university because of the pressure and because of the language.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Love that. Now, I want us to touch on the fact that you just completed your 3rd degree. You started undergrad, I believe, and then you went into your honors, now your masters. The journey there surely was not easy. Speak to me about non-academic challenges that you faced throughout this time as a student, because mhlampe ni omunye uyayibuka and they are saying to themselves, no, but it's not as easy, right? And I want you to maybe address some of the challenges that you have faced as well that are non-academic. Nothing that has to do with the research, nothing that has to do with the schoolwork, but just things you faced on the external that could have easily made you quit along the way, and how you overcame those challenges.
Well, my journey, academia didn't start at UJ.
Yeah.
It started at birth.
Okay.
So I was doing science, which is very tricky how I moved from science to politics.
Yeah.
Actually, FISMAS had an impact on that.
Oh.
Because while I was doing science, that was at EPK FISMAS.
Yeah.
So that's when I attended those meetings, and that's when I learned to see there's actually more to politics than protests, ANC, DA, parliament, and all those things. So yeah, because of FISMAS and because of other things, pressures outside, I failed. And then I kept on failing until I decided to go to, okay, no, actually let me go for what I want, not for what people chose for me. So when I started AUJ, it was hard because firstly, I was on my last year of NSFAS. So I was like, okay, if I'm doing this first year, second year, I don't know who's survive. So it was that. And coming from a financially disadvantaged background, I was second year. So when I struggled financially. So I was like, okay, let me continue. I did second year. Second year, I didn't have funding, so funding also leads to stress academically and in any other way. So now I have to come back for my 3rd year.
Yeah.
So coming back for my 3rd year, I owe fees for the second year. So now I need to pay the 50% plus registration I don't have. And so my mom did things and made plans, and we paid the 50%, paid the registration. And yeah, 3rd year, still didn't have funding. Yeah, and then also honors, I don't have funding for honors as well. And this opportunity of multilingualism came in. And that's when I did it, and that's how I got to fund honors through multilingualism project.
Yeah.
So that's how I got funded.
Shout out to mom. Shout out to mom for making a plan. Truly, these women are just incredible. You know, moms, we appreciate you. Something that you mentioned was politics is more than what we just see in parliament, the political parties we have. What is then politics? Because I think a lot of people think that is what politics is about. Yeah.
Actually, politics is more than just that.
Yeah.
It's a way of people living together, how they make decisions and agreements so that they can live with each other. So that is basically
pretty much what politics is. So everything that goes into that is in a way alongside the lines of politics.
So politics is everywhere. How people come together, make decisions on how they can live together, that is politics.
Incredible. And challenges later, here you are. You have made history. As we were chatting once again before we started shooting, I said to you, you were the first to do it, which is something that might seem small to someone, but this is a huge institution. There's still so many others that are going to come after you, but you will remain the first to have ever done it. Now that you have made that history, what are some of your future plans? Where does this degree get you? What are the doors that this degree opens for you? Are you the next president? One is asking themselves.
Well, actually, you want to do both academia and policy. So, but I think I'm more aligned with academia. So I still want to pursue my PhD.
Beautiful.
And stick to being an academic. Do research, do Because I think I'm more active behind the scenes.
Okay.
Do research, just be a silent person just behind the scenes.
Influencing the big decisions that actually we see in society.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And what would you say has been your biggest inspiration throughout this journey? Something that just kept you going? Because the way you describe it, it was not an easy experience, you know, facing those financial problems at some point. And also just then, academia is just challenging. It's not an easy journey in its essence, right? What was that thing you would look at and go, I just have to do it because of this one thing?
I think my biggest inspiration was the African language activists, and because we can't let language die.
Yeah.
And we had languages that die along the way, so we can't have the ones that we have now to die as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted to honor that and have more right on isiZulu.
Yeah.
And kube khona into eshoyo ukuthi isiZulu was there.
Yeah.
And angeke siphele.
Sure.
For the next generation to come, nabo bafunda bazobona ukuthi actually there is a language like this one, and we can actually improve on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love that.
That was my inspiration, to not let the language die.
Don't let the language die. Preserve it as much as you can. And now this allows for others as well who want to come after you to be able to come through and walk the steps you took already and walk the journey that you've, you know, traveled already. What do you say to somebody who's watching this and they think, I want to do it as well. I want to do research. I want to further my studies in a native language. What do you have to say to that person right now?
Do it.
Sure.
Do it. And it won't be easy. There will be challenges. And because academia is Eurocentric, so stick to it. Like, stick to your native language. Sure. And don't fall off.
Yeah.
Don't fall off. Kuzokanya at the end of the day. Use mentors as well. Use dictionaries. Use internet as well. Use people around you.
Yeah.
Use abantu abadala, ogogo, and yeah.
Sure.
So do it. Don't fall off.
Love it. Sesi Vala, there's something called legacy. Yeah. Once you've lived your life and it does come to an end, which is quite inevitable, yeah? When all is said and done, what legacy do you hope to leave behind? What do you want us to remember you for? I mean, we already will remember you for this achievement in itself, but what else do you still hope to achieve that generations later will know there was once a Philisiwe Mpondo?
Well, I hope to leave a legacy. Yoguti, our indigenous languages matter.
Yeah.
And mele siwa preserve ngayo yonke indlela. So you should produce more, because if language ayusebenzisi, it over time iyaperisha. So if we stick to ukubhala and publish on native languages, so iyakhula. So I want to be remembered as umuntu obethanda language, umuntu obethanda heritage and identity as well.
Yeah.
So I'd like ukuthi abantu bafunde from that and be proud of who you are, be proud of where you come from, and ukhule from where you are, and don't lose yourself. It's easy to lose yourself in a world NJ, especially a university engaka, so it's easy to lose yourself.
Yeah.
So remember who you are and where you're going, and ungayilahlekelwa wena, ungalahlekelwa yikho konke, but ungalahlekelwa wena.
Don't lose you.
Don't lose yourself.
Sure. Philisiwe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming through to share your story. Truly inspiring. I hope you know when you wake up that I'm that girl. Yeah, do you know that song by Beyonce?
I hope I do.
Yeah. Truly never forget that you've done something truly historic, something that will be in the history books forever. No one will ever eliminate this and take it away from you. You are the first. There will never be another first. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for inspiring that black little girl who's watching right now. And actually every little girl who's watching, especially those ones, Zethembe, Soweto, from backgrounds such as the ones that you come from as well. You did it with limited resources. You did it. Scared? You did it. Feeling like, I'm a bit uncertain? You did it. And so we're proud of you. And I think I said this truly on behalf of not just UJTV, but the entire University of Johannesburg. Thank you so much for coming through. There you have it, Orange Army. Her name is Philisiwe Mpondo. She's the first ever isiZulu Masters graduate in Politics and International Relations. On the comment section down below, be sure that you let us know how her story impacted you, how it inspired you, and how maybe, it pushed you to do even greater things. Other than that, be sure that you do subscribe to the channel, you like this video, and that you do share it with your friends. This is In Conversation, and igama lami Zethembe M. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.